Right, it's time for a showdown. Kempston Breakfast Stout versus Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
Let's get it on!
Right, so Kentucky Breakfast Stout, or KBS. If you don't know about this beer already, most of you probably do, but you need to try it if you haven't. It's brilliant. Imperial Stout by Founders Brewery. This one is 12.3% ABV, bottled on the 14th of the 2nd, 2018. This, if you've watched the previous videos, you will know, is my version of it, the Kempston Breakfast Stout, based on the clone recipe off of the American Homebrewers Association website. After reading up on that a little bit, it became apparent that that recipe is actually, the base of that recipe is actually their breakfast stout, Founders Breakfast Stout, but with additional bourbon and oak chips added into it, with the chocolate as well. So it's not quite up to the same strength as the KBS, but it's on the same ballpark. So I think the KBS is essentially based on the breakfast stout, but with more additions and brewed a little bit stronger. So without further ado, let's get these into the bottle. This has been was brewed right at the beginning of the year, so it's about 6 months old now, which it could probably benefit from a bit more time, but I've had a few samples along the way and I know that it's pretty decent already. So 6 months for me, I think, is long enough, and I just want to basically compare it against the real deal and see how it's measuring up. As I said, I know it's probably not going to be, you know, a true clone, but if it's anywhere close to the KBS, then I will be happy. So let's get it into the glass and see what we've got. So the KBS first. So lovely beige top on that, decent level of carbonation, looks good. And here comes the Kempston version. So it looks like it's slightly higher carbonation on this. But visually, pretty similar colour in terms of the head, and obviously, well, they're both pretty much jet black, aren't they? But colour wise, looking good. Let's get involved with the aroma. So it's a kind of woody, chocolatey, coffee aroma, predominantly coming off of the KBS. I definitely still get a bit of that slightly woody kind of oak smell off of this one as well, and the chocolate. And the coffee, to be fair. Aroma wise, that's pretty damn close. One thing I'm noticing already though, the head retention on my version is looking not so good. Yeah, so that head is dropping away a little bit quicker on this one. The KBS still has a fairly nice frothy top on it. But apart from that, very similar. Taste wise, yeah, KBS is just full on big smack of kind of coffee and chocolate. Bit of sweetness to it, but not too much. There's a kind of the alcohol warmth there. Difficult to kind of pick out the bourbon flavour on its own, but I definitely get that kind of oaky wood taste with the alcohol, so I think it's contributing there. Very rich, strong flavoured, very nice. Those of you that tried it will know exactly what I'm talking about. So the clone or tribute brew. So first thing I would say is probably not as much body to that, so it's not as full on. Comes through a little bit lighter with the mouthfeel. It's still boozy, but maybe that is a little bit smoother. But as I said, alcohol wise, or did I mention the ABV? I don't think I did mention the ABV. This one came out about 10%, so there's about, what was it? Yeah, there's 2.3% ABV difference between those, so I'm not surprised that this is not coming through quite as boozy as the other one, and also obviously that will contribute to the body and mouthfeel as well. Carbonation is a little bit higher on that one, and you can tell that when you're tasting it as well. I think there's a little bit more sweetness. Again, the alcohol content may be contributing to that. So it's a bit lighter in body. I think if I did it again, I would probably try and crank up the ABV a bit with a bigger grain bill. The coffee and chocolate notes are definitely there and seem to be in about the right kind of proportion. It's definitely got the oakiness. I'm surprised actually at how well just using oak chips for a few weeks in a pressure barrel has actually given it that kind of barrel aged sort of flavour. It's very good. I'm really happy with it. It's not quite there in terms of the intensity of flavour compared to the KBS, which I'm not surprised about. This is, you know, genuinely aged in genuine oak barrels, bourbon barrels. But as far as a tribute to that beer, I'm very happy with that. It's close. It's not there just yet, but I'm a happy brewer, and that's a cracking Imperial Stout. So I will leave it there. Thank you very much, guys. I'll put links at the end to the previous video showing how I brewed this, and I would thoroughly recommend giving it a go, because although it's not exactly the same as the KBS, it's a cracking beer in its own right. So yeah, cheers everyone, and I'll see you soon.
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino.